Waiting for perfectionism is just fancy procrastination. If you're done, perfect. Upload the video, launch the product, just move on. Just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. Just start working on it. So, hey, it's 2025, and the question I want to address today is, are we going to set personal goals for 2025? So let me clear the air right away and not make this video a suspense. So let me tell you that yes, I am going to set some personal goals this year. I'm very excited about the year 2025. I think it's great to document goals. In one of those thousand ways the organizational gurus on YouTube ask you to do. I have nothing against those YouTubers, but it really gets overwhelming when you watch so many videos and you find so many systems and you're really confused what to approach. I want to discuss about the goal setting process. How many goals should you really have? How many goals can you actually track and go after? What is the process I am going to follow? This year, I hope to set a more structured way, a more simplistic and more realistic way to approach these goals. So let's try and together find out what kind of systems can you put in place, and let's talk it out. My last boss in my organization, he used to enthusiastically call me into his cabin uh, and um, and talk about really big ideas, big goals for the organization. I was supposed to take them down and put them into chunks of smaller goals and create a system around it and a plan around it. Now I was very excited doing that. He called me again after 4 days or a week, and he discussed even bigger ideas and make another set of plans to execute them. So funny story. So yeah, it's tricky when you have bosses who keep changing their tracks and their goals. So I hope you're not dealing with one of those bosses. I did for a while. Now, how many goals do you want to have for the year? And nobody these days have just one goal. If you have just one goal, congrats. You're extremely clear about what you want to do in this year. But I think I personally have about 3 or 4 goals. And you can have different goals, right? You can have a professional goal, you can have a personal fitness related goal, you can have a relationship oriented or relationship targeted goal, or you can have a skill that you want to acquire this year, so a goal around that. So it's absolutely all right to have 4 or 5 goals, but what is the number that is realistic? Here I want to plug in Warren Buffett's idea, and I think I stumbled upon it somewhere, but it's extremely powerful. I think so. Warren Buffett had his employees write 25 goals that they had, and then he made them circle the top 5 of them that are extremely important for them. And when people circle that, he said rest of the 20 are the ones that you should avoid at all cost. These are your silent productivity killers, and I think it makes complete sense. I don't think you should have more than 5 goals for the year. It's a distraction. I don't think you'll be able to even realistically go about achieving them. So pick 3 or 5 goals that will radically change your life, is what I believe, and I'm gonna do that. Put them if it's a hell yes. If it's a hard no, just absolutely avoid it. When I said earlier that I struggled a couple of years trying to kind of achieve my goals, was when I set the goals and I blindly started working towards it. I think we really need to define the finish line and make a plan towards it. Let's say somebody has a goal saying, I want to be extremely fit this year. But what does extremely fit look like? What is your definition of that? Do you want to lose 30 kgs? Do you want to have a body fat percentage of 12%? Do you want to have a visceral fat percentage of so and so? What do you want to? How do you define the extremely fit? Let's say your goal is I want to be rich this year. Can you define what rich is for you? Can you define it? Can you put a number to it maybe? Once you have that, so you have a target to go after. The most critical factor this year for me is, rather than approaching the whole goal all out, I want to break it down into 4 milestones. This is called reverse engineering the goal. I know it sounds fancy, but it's really very simple. You just make sure you have the eye on the target, and then you work backwards on the plan. So it's also called as, I think, the Brian Moran method, dividing your goals into 4 quarterly milestones. And then each milestone is broken down into monthly actions, and your monthly actions are further broken down into weekly sprints. Now, by doing this, what you have is a very clear path, a very clear roadmap, and instructions for you laid out about what you want to do for that particular week and how do you want to set up your day. So just to give you some context, let's say your overall goal is fitness. You want to get extremely fit. Your first quarter could be about building foundational strength and nutritional habits, for example. Your second quarter could be really about getting your body fat down to, let's say, 16% or so. And so on and so forth. You get the drill, right? And monthly can be about introducing more intense or advanced form of workouts like HIIT conditioning or Pilates. You can also introduce some effective diet plans. You can introduce intermittent fasting and work things out like that. Weekly goals and weekly execution based goals can really be about these small little action plans. I really recommend you read the book Atomic Habits. I follow a lot of ideas from the Atomic Habits written by James Clear. You can, if you don't want to read the book, I'm not much of a reader myself. There are thousands of videos on YouTube. There are posters that you'll find on Etsy. You can introduce Atomic Habits into your weekly plan. So a lot of short-term gains that you're going to look for are, I think, going to be captured in your weekly goals. Okay, let's dig a little deeper into the daily execution, because frankly, that's what will matter at the end of the day. If you want to achieve your annual goal, it doesn't matter what you put on your annual goal, your quarterly goals, your monthly goal. But if you're not driven and you do not achieve on a daily basis, you're not going to reach anywhere. Let me hit you with the reality bomb. Motivation is bullshit. I think I've spoken about this in my earlier video, but motivation is really bullshit. You can get motivated watching a couple of videos or podcasts, but that will only remain for a while. What matters at the end of the day is discipline and a system that you have to put in place, and you have to stick to it. The real reason people fail is because they rely too much on being inspired. And it's not really the inspiration, it's about how much disciplined you are to wake up every day and go by the system that you've put in place. So many times in the week, I'm absolutely not motivated to go to the gym. Absolutely not motivated to do a task that is important for me, for my business or my work. But I do it anyway because I have to do it, man. I just show up. Execution. I also like the Mel Robbins way of count to five. It's a very simple, no nonsense approach. When you have an idea or when you have a task that you want to do, or when it's scheduled, do not ask yourself a question. Go absolutely mechanical. Just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Just start working on it. No waiting for motivation, no debating. Just start. There's one more technique for execution. I don't know how much I am going to rely on it, but it's about having no plan B at all. It sounds interesting. I will try maybe for one of the goals. Let's say if you want to start a YouTube channel, you just absolutely go all out and announce it that you're going to start one. Then you have no option but to launch it. So if you keep up, it kind of makes sense, because if you have a plan B, you have something to fall back to. You don't want to have a plan B to fall back on, and then you will focus completely on plan A and make sure that you achieve it. In business, I've heard a lot of times, and I've been in business for a while, doing side hustles for such a long time and working along with it, and then having my own full-time business. I realized one thing is that if you're absolutely persistent and consistent about the plan A, and you know how to do it, and you don't give up, you will learn, you will fall, you will make mistakes. Therefore, at the end of the day, you'll figure out how to do that. There's one more idea, which is the 85% rule. A lot of people worry about shipping the best product, shipping the best version of a software, have the sexiest website. If it's 85% ready, it's ready to ship and sell. Just go out there and put it out there. Waiting for perfectionism is just fancy procrastination. If you're done, perfect. Upload the video, launch the product, just move on. And in execution, I'm going to leave you with the most powerful and the one that I follow, or rather try to follow, because it's always work in progress, because I can see the needle moving, is the 1% rule by James Clear in Atomic Habits. It's if you just get 1% better every day, you're 37 times better at the end of the year. Very powerful, because even if you're not driven or motivated to do a task, you just manage to do a little bit. It just takes me a couple of steps ahead, and that's enough. Should you be setting goals in the year 2025? I think the answer is pretty clear. I'm going to set my goals very confidently. I wish you all the best. Have fun, and see you on the next one.